Let me tell you something. If you find yourself constantly thinking about women, really thinking, it's not just about lust, it's not just about superficial desire, it's about something far deeper. It's a signal from your psyche, from the very structure of your being, that there's a profound transformation trying to take place. She is the dragon's treasure, not just the dragon's target. She represents both what must be integrated and what must be confronted. When the feminine appears constantly in your thoughts, it may be because something in your soul knows it's time to face the chaos and bring order to it. These thoughts aren't always desires. They're often messages. They are invitations from your psyche to confront a missing piece. This is not about sexual conquest. This is about psychic integration. The more you repress that realization, the louder the obsession becomes. We think we're dreaming of her, but we're really dreaming of what she means. She is the symbol of everything we've yet to master, everything we fear, everything we long to protect. That's why she shows up in myths as both the monster and the muse. When your mind repeats the same image, the same fantasy, the same pull, it's because it has found a shape to express a deep psychological tension. That tension is not a curse, it's a compass. If you're stuck thinking about women, you may be circling an inner wound or a longing that hasn't been articulated. You're not addicted to women. You are haunted by the idea of wholeness. You are being asked to reconcile the internal split between the masculine and the feminine within yourself. Until you do, you'll project your unlived life onto every woman who crosses your path. You'll make her the answer to a question you haven't asked. You'll put her on a pedestal and then hate her when she falls. That's not love. It's unconscious idolatry, and it's killing your potential. When you objectify the feminine, you don't just diminish her, you diminish yourself. There is something ancient in the male psyche that calls us to pursue the unknown. That's why men risk, climb, fight, compete, and build. But the unknown isn't just the mountain, it's the soul of a woman. And when you can't stop thinking about her, it may be because you haven't yet faced your own inadequacies in relation to what she symbolizes. You fear rejection not just because you want to be accepted, but because her rejection feels like a denial of your worth. That's because you've tied your identity to her approval rather than your own development. The image of woman, the thought of woman, it's a mirror. It reflects your insecurities, your ambitions, your lack of discipline, your hunger for meaning. When you stare into that mirror, if all you see is lust, you're not looking deep enough. Beneath that desire is a cry for transformation, and your psyche knows it. That's why she appears in your dreams, in your distractions, in your addictions. She's not calling you to chase her. She's calling you to become someone who doesn't have to. When you romanticize her, you're often trying to escape yourself. You fantasize not just because you want her, but because you don't want to confront your own mediocrity. You'd rather dream of a perfect other than become a better self. You see her and you think salvation. But salvation never comes from without. It comes from the disciplined integration of your inner world. You want her to complete you because you refuse to complete yourself. That's not romance. That's spiritual laziness. The constant thought of women may be the mind's attempt to process unfinished development. It's a symptom of arrested maturity. Until you learn to relate to the feminine as something sacred rather than something to conquer, you'll never grow up. You'll remain psychologically adolescent, addicted to the chase, terrified of intimacy, confusing possession with love. You won't become a man, you'll become a boy with power, which is far more dangerous. Jung didn't warn us about the anima for nothing. When the feminine within you is unrecognized, it becomes projected. And projection is dangerous because it blinds you. You can't see her for who she is. You only see your own longing. That's why you fall so hard and break even harder. You are never loving her. You are worshiping your own woundedness in her form. That isn't connection. That's psychological confusion. The feminine principle is not here to serve your needs. It's here to test you, to elevate you, to humble you. It demands honesty. It rewards those who approach it with reverence, not conquest. If you can't stop thinking about her, it might be because you haven't yet learned what she represents in your mythological journey. And make no mistake, your life is a myth. You are walking the path of 1,000 heroes before you, and every single one had to confront the feminine in order to become whole. She is the chaos before creation. She is the storm that precedes the structure. If you run from her, you remain fragmented. If you chase her blindly, you become lost. But if you approach her consciously, with courage and humility, you grow, and you stop needing her to become, because you start becoming on your own. Then, and only then, are you ready to truly meet her. Your obsession is not a curse, it's a signal, but it demands interpretation. It's the psyche screaming for meaning, not pleasure. When you mistake it for mere lust, you rob yourself of your own evolution. She is not the goal, she is the symbol of the goal. And until you understand that, you will wander unfulfilled, seeking answers in places where only deeper questions live. When your thoughts are consumed by women, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're being summoned. You're being called by something older than desire and deeper than emotion. There is something in you that's reaching forward to become more than what you are, and it's using the image of the feminine as its voice. This isn't a weakness. This is an opportunity. The mind doesn't obsess without reason. It fixates because it's found a symbol too potent to ignore. And what that symbol represents is the next stage of your transformation. Most people confuse this pull with distraction, with temptation, with a flaw in their discipline. But that's not accurate. What you're feeling is the stirring of responsibility that you haven't fully accepted. It's the emergence of a drive that knows you're capable of more. Your psyche doesn't torment you for fun. It whispers to you in longing because it sees the man you could be if you answered it. It's not obsession, it's invitation. You think you're being tempted, but you're actually being challenged. The constant return of these thoughts isn't proof that you're weak. It's proof that you haven't yet integrated what you truly value. You're circling the edge of meaning, but you haven't committed to entering it. And meaning never enters lightly. It kicks the door in and demands a sacrifice. If you won't offer your immaturity, your apathy, your avoidance, then you'll be haunted by the image instead. It will chase you. Not because you're cursed, but because you're chosen to grow and you're resisting. Growth doesn't feel like clarity. It feels like chaos at first. And when you don't respond to chaos with discipline, it devours you. Your thoughts are not the problem. Your lack of structure is. You need to ask yourself what you're building with your time, with your energy, with your focus. Because if you're not building something meaningful, your mind will default to fantasy. And fantasy without action is decay. Every thought that consumes you is a resource trying to become real. The energy behind your obsession is the same energy that could build your future if it was aimed properly. If you weren't using that mental fire to fantasize, you could be using it to become formidable. That longing you feel, that ache, it's not about her, it's about who you would need to become to deserve someone like her. And that person, he doesn't exist yet. He has to be built. You are not being punished by your thoughts, you're being refined by them. They are telling you what you want, and they are waiting for you to decide if you're willing to do what it takes to get it. Wanting without willing is spiritual stagnation. And the longer you stay there, the more resentful you'll become. The woman is not the obstacle. Your inaction is, you want to be seen, you want to be chosen, but first you have to become someone worth seeing. And that doesn't happen through indulgence, it happens through work, through confrontation with your own deficiencies. The thoughts you keep having, they are not a curse on your mind, they are a mirror to your potential. You're not addicted to women, you're addicted to the version of yourself who hasn't yet fulfilled his responsibility. Every time you fantasize without building, you widen the gap between who you are and who you could be. And the deeper that gap becomes, the more painful your reality will feel. The thoughts are symptoms. They're warning signs that you're disconnected from your mission. You don't need to suppress them, you need to translate them. What are they asking you to do? What are they exposing about your current state? Obsession is focused without purpose. If you had purpose, you wouldn't be distracted. You wouldn't need the escape. A man who is building doesn't have time to fantasize. He has direction. He has orientation. He has a goal that's bigger than comfort. You think you're stuck in a loop of desire, but you're actually stuck in a life without structure. And until you create structure, you will remain vulnerable to any image that offers the illusion of wholeness. The woman in your mind is not just a person. She's a metaphor for everything you feel you're missing: confidence, power, connection, meaning. And until you create those internally, you will continue seeking them externally. You are being called not to chase her, but to rise to the level where her presence is earned, not fantasized. Your repeated thoughts are not proof of lust, they're proof of lack of vision, lack of discipline, lack of inner leadership. You don't become a man by controlling your mind through force. You become a man by aligning your life so fully with a higher goal that your mind falls into order. This isn't a battle of suppression. This is a mission of alignment. And alignment doesn't come from wishing, it comes from action. She is not the answer, she is the test. The one who chases fails, the one who builds attracts. Your biology will scream for ease. Your instincts will beg for gratification. But you have something far more powerful than instinct. You have sovereignty. You have the ability to shape yourself. You have the power to transmute longing into achievement. But only if you're willing to stop using her as an escape and start using her as a signal.